Skyrim is generally known as one of the most stable and optimized games ever made. In all these years, I have never experienced a crash to desktop, nor have I ever heard anyone complaining of a crash to desktop, as the base game, as well as every mod made, is completely compatible with other mods and have no issues within them. Now, the first step to having a pristine playthrough like this is just to install whatever mods you want. You don't need to look at the requirements or the mod page, as the only requirement you'll need is Skyrim, and they're all Skyrim mods, so they'll all just work fine. And be sure to avoid any stability guides on YouTube, as those videos are absolute nonsense and they just wanted to distract you from playing the game while they have all the fun. It is completely safe to uninstall any mods at any time during your playthrough, especially if it has scripts. The reason is because Bethesda made this game very cleanly, and due to that, the game engine will recognize scripts that you have uninstalled and therefore won't look for them. Now, you also have to balance the game. There are 3 versions: Legendary Edition, Special Edition, and Anniversary Edition. If you have the Special Edition, you must download the Anniversary Edition of mods to balance it out and make up for the fact of not having the newest version of the game. This is a way of updating your game. Now, if you have the Anniversary Edition, you want to do the reverse. You want to download the Special Edition of your game because you want to make sure that your game isn't too up to date, and therefore must download the Special Edition version of mods to balance it out. Using things that sort your lord order is another waste of time. Things like loot, which automatically sort your lord order sometimes correctly, are not the way to go. Instead, I would advise you to simply boot up the game when you have the mods installed. When getting upscaled texture mods, always go for the 4K, and if they have it, 8K option. You want your game to look better, right? I don't know why anyone would ever install the lesser options, as they are completely inferior. Beth Ini. This is one of those mods recommended by stability guides, but as I mentioned, they're a waste of time. This is one of the most boring and useless mods ever made. What does it do? It installs an application. Why do you need an application when you already have the Skyrim application? Plus, you can't install with Mod Manager, which means it's automatically a bad mod. Older mods are typically going to be better because they are closer to the release of the game and therefore are more optimized. A great option is using mods that increase the amount of NPCs. Now you might be thinking, isn't putting in more NPCs going to take more of a toll and increase lag in more dense areas, especially if I don't have a spaceship for a PC? No. Let me give you an example. If you have 3 NPCs in an area, that means those 3 NPCs are holding up the weight of the game. However, if you install a mod and now there are 10 NPCs, there are now more bodies holding up the demand for the game, and thus the game will run smoother. To have a more immersive experience, download all the NPC overhauls you see, such as the one shown on screen. What this does is that it improves how NPCs look and gives an extremely immersive feel to the game. Also, there's a very good chance that Skyrim will be updated in the somewhat near future for some not odd reason, and when that happens, just update the game as quickly as possible, as updating a game that is almost 13 years old is very important. Your mods will work just fine and there will be no issues caused by the update.